What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Savage Land. Welcome to another episode of The Field. And today on The Field, we have the lovely Agent Helix. A lot of people don't know about Helix, neither do I. I did not collect the 25th anniversary line. So when she was announced, I'm like, who is this? Really didn't care too much when I first seen her, but as time kind of went on, and from about a month ago, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of interested in this female. How would they do with her? I started to like her color layout, far as the safety yellow with the dark gray, kind of as a throwback to the 90s, but she's not a 90s character. She came out in about 2009, 2010, and out of her, she was pretty much a property character. Developed by a video game company called Helix, and that's pretty much where she gets her name from. And I believe simultaneously they were introducing her in the IEW comics, IDW. I've never read them, Devil's Due or whatever. The later on comics, she was getting introduced in that simultaneously, kind of almost like Samuel L. Jackson is in the MCU now. But she's basically a E4 corporal. It says total organic battlefield awareness. So when I was reading up on her the other day, she's almost like a mutant. She can adapt fighting styles and pick them up, they say, from the first time of her interacting with that style. Agent Helix is a covert operations officer for the G.I. Joe team. She's known as an expert marksman with advanced martial arts training. She uses dual 10mm auto pistols as her preferred weapon. She's an Olympic class gymnast and uses her distinctive whirlwind attack to deliver overpowering combinations of kicks and firepower to covert agents. Has the ability to identify and solve complex physical calculations at a rate that some consider extremely spooky. To her, everything's a data set, like miles left before a car will run out of gas or ammo count in the bad guys' guns, etc. To Duke and Hawk, this ability is called total organic battlefield awareness. Okay, so let's get on with the figure. First of all, this figure, to me, I'm just gonna automatically say it. It's pretty much a better cover girl. Seems like she's pretty much has the cover girl body, but I'm not 100% sure because of things that the cover girl body did. Now, as far as her arms, the arm doesn't come off or anything like that. I've lifted them up. My right arm went up really high, and then my left arm has some restrictions, but it still went high. But just the right arm went really high. Like, wow, I can't believe she got it up like that. As far as head sculpt looks pretty good. Better than CoverGirl's face. I can't never really capture her face because of the bang that hangs in front of it. It just kind of keeps her, for some odd reason, like almost disguised somewhat. I can't never really capture her full beauty in a photo. At least that's what I thought. But her face looks pretty good, man. She's pretty solid. Hair, head sculpt. I give that about an 8. The hair looks good. The hair, the coloring of it is not a bad coloring, but I can see a woman out in public with that hair color. In my head, I'll be thinking like, why the hell did she color her hair that color? But it's one of those type hairdos, man. But as far as the cut bob looks good. As far as the sculpt of it, as far as the paint, it looks really good. Now, as far as her costume, her outfit layout, kind of has like a jumpsuit with like a harness to hold her swords and other little gadgets. It has like a graphite, not necessarily graphite, but it's like a dark gray with another light gray with a yellow, like a safety yellow up underneath. It's very bright, like a highlighter color. If this was the 90s, that gray would probably be replaced with like a blue or some type of funky green. But they toned it back down with the gray, which I like, and I like the way that, like I said before, it reminds me of a Wasp Raider. Those two different color tones that she got. Wasp Raider is a little bit more silver, but I like that gray. It plays off of that yellow very well. But double ball joint at the neck, of course, with the G.I. Joe. Double pinless arms, which you can crouch your arms in really good. Pretty much has a ball at the waist. No abdominal crunch, but her upper abdominal where the ball's at and the bottom moves very good. There's a little bit of gappiness up under her necessarily where her breast and her abdominal is if you pull it way back. I mean, it's actually good because you can really get her into some poses, but I almost would see almost like a Storm collectible. You see a little bit of gap if you pull that thing really far back, man, but nothing too crazy. Far as hips, drop down hips, and this is one of the things I said I've seen with CoverGirl, that when you drop down her hips, it gets a little gappy in there. This is one of those situations where the drop down hips is maybe it's not always good to have, man, with everybody. For one, she's a female character. She's thin already. And then she's already really flexible. So those drop down hips, it forms a gap when you drop them down. A good scenario of this is pretty much the new Black Widow, which I didn't get any shots of her, but I was going to get some. But that new Black Widow doesn't have drop down hips, and she pretty much is her body moves pretty well, man. I believe so. It's been a minute since I messed with her, but I believe so. But this is a case I don't think they should have had it. But she has a thigh cut, double jointed knees, a boot cut at the top of that tall boot, which is pretty cool, so she can turn. And she has a ankle pivot and ankle rocker that works really well. Far as her weapon, she has the two swords, which I like the coloring. I like the black blades with the yellow handles. And then she has two 10mm auto pistols, which are really soft and flimsy. But I'm gonna just keep those in for deco. You know, of course, when it comes to handguns and things like that, you want to use some Valiverse or use any other gun besides G.I. Joe in its current state. I mean, they just really don't care. And that comes, oh, and she also has a hatchet too. Belt around her waist is, it moves around. I wish it kind of was molded. It doesn't get in the way, but sometimes I just hate those belts that just move around. But nothing crazy. It's done good. It has some silver paint on it. It's sculpted really well, and you can hold her little hatchet in the back there. So she can hold everything she comes with just to be a small character, because of course she's a female. Now, the most sturdiest thing on her, which I found was a surprise, are these kind of like dueling like knives she has on her wrist. They are articulated. They move at where they mount at the wrist and a little bit up in the arm there, in the elbow of the arm they move. And they feel very tight. Even though they're small and delicate, they don't feel flimsy. These are not flimsy. These are the only thing, and the swords are not, you know, they're not flimsy on her, man. And they're great compliments. They clip right onto the wrist. They fit snug. I mean, they can be a little loose if you get them moving around really hard. But as far as that, they're not like something that you put on and just automatically fall off. They did a good job, actually, with these wrist knives, man. I actually like that feature on her, man. She looks dope once you start putting ninja swords and weapons into her hand. Far as this figure here, I feel like they still need a little bit work on the female figures, but it's a good place to start moving upwards from. I start to think about the G.I. Joe women figures, which I don't have a lot, and she's one of the better ones. The G.I. Joe women figures have never been horrible, but they definitely could have used work, and they have been improving ever since the first Scarlet to the Lady J, which is pretty much the template for the double jointed arms. But this she has a good head sculpt. She has great balance too. She can get into those poses. Whoever does the posing for G.I. Joe Classified, far as when it's time to show the toys, are really selling them. And he really sold her too to me on it, just as far as I've seen the way her ankle rocked, the way she pivot, the way he had her running, crouching. She can do it all, and she can balance. You got to work with her a little bit because she's a smaller female figure, so smaller feet is basically what I'm saying. But as you can see here, what I've done on one leg, crouching down, bending her elbows, really getting into ninja poses, because she's a part of that ninja squad pretty much. She's on the commando ninja side, so she can definitely do what she's supposed to do. So I don't have a problem with articulation, man. Maybe a little just a bit more tighter on the I guess you would say the aesthetic of as far as like the drop down legs with a little bit of gappiness, and then I had a little bit of gappiness as far as the abdomen. But good figure, man. I thought she was going to be a rock star, but she's a star. I give her a star, like I say, because she's an improvement on female figures And moving forward, I'm wondering if she has the same body as that Jodie Shooter. That one really doesn't impress me, but of course, you know, definitely I'll be getting her. But yeah, man, this is Agent Helix. I called her at Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store has been getting things early, even before overseas. And what's going on is Hasbro trying to curve this ship now, trying to jump all these other people getting their stuff and try to jump this lateness. So last couple of orders that we just seen 2 weeks ago, this wave 3 weeks ago, I give it a month at the most, and we already got it in hands. I thought she would stay up there. She stayed for a couple of days, but I see she's gone now. But of course you can see Buzzer is still there. He was in that same wave as her, along with General Hawk and Shockwave. But those are two I'm waiting on now. But I really like Helix. I'm glad I got her, man. I'm glad G.I. Joe continues to kick butt. And even on their lesser figures, man, they're still great figures that just could use just a small bit of improvement, man. But a great line, another great figure, and another cool female, man. It's always good to get a cool looking female in your figure roster. But this is the Savage Land. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. If you can, hit me up on my Instagram at Geppetto910. Give this channel a like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless.